Hello? I'm getting a raise for the code review I did? Awesome. You want me to share how anyone can get started with static code analysis? Okay, I can do that. Today I'm going to show you step by step how you can get started with static code analysis or code review. We're going to briefly explain what code analysis is, then I'm going to show you how to install WSL or Windows Subsystem for Linux. Then I'm going to show you how to set up Semgrep and start running scans. First, what is static code analysis? Static code analysis is essentially analyzing code for bugs and vulnerabilities. Now, because Semgrep runs on Linux and Mac OS, we're going to install WSL, or Windows Subsystem for Linux. WSL is a tool that lets us run Linux on our Windows machine. First, we're going to open PowerShell. I personally like to do Windows R command. You could also find it this way. Next, we're going to install WSL. I already have it running, but you may not have it installed. So the way to install it is WSL --install. I already have it installed, so you're going to see it. For you that don't, you will get an install screen. Next, once WSL is installed, we will run WSL --list --online. This will show a list of all of the Linux distributions that we can install. I'm going to choose Ubuntu just because that is a well-known and easy to use Linux distribution. So next what we're going to do is we're going to install that by doing WSL --install --distribution and then Ubuntu. And then for you, it's not going to look quite the same because you are just installing it for the first time. You're going to have to set up a username and a password. And your username can be something easy, the same as your Windows if you prefer, and your password can be something easy as well. This is just for education purposes. If you're using this in a production environment, make sure that you're following your corporation's password and username policies. After we have WSL installed, we're going to launch WSL. Normally, you're going to start out right here in the initial directory. Once we're logged into our WSL, we're going to install Python because Semgrep relies on it. But don't worry, we're not going to be doing any coding today. The first line we need to do, sudo apt update and upgrade. We're going to update our distribution so that we can properly install packages. And it's going to require a password to run that command. After you have upgraded, now we're going to update and install Python. Sudo apt install Python, Python 3-pip, and IPython 3. And for you, it will ask you to say yes because you have not installed these. To install Semgrep, we're going to run the following command: python 3 -m pip install Semgrep. And because mine's already installed, it's installed, but for you, it's going to ask you to confirm, push yes. Next, now that we've installed Semgrep, what we need to do is create a folder between the two systems. WSL and the Windows operating system do not like to communicate well with each other. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into your File Explorer. You're going to go into your File Explorer, click on this PC, your C drive, users, and then your user account, and you're going to right-click New Folder, and you're going to name this new folder Projects. As you can see, I already have a Projects folder here. Once you've created this folder Projects, we're going to go back into our WSL window, and we are going to create a soft link. Now we're going to run this command to create a soft link between Windows and our WSL projects. It's going to be ln -s slash mnt, which stands for mount, and then c slash uppercase user slash your username, which for me is Cyril, slash projects, a tilde, which is this weird squiggly key, slash projects. And then if you run this command, you should be able to do the ls command, and ls just shows you what is currently in the directory. And then we can do a cd projects to enter this folder. And I actually have used this folder previously. I was able to see that these two folders are able to communicate correctly. We have our projects folder set up, we have Semgrep installed, we have Python installed. We're just about ready to start running our code scans. Before we can run our code scans, we need to use git to clone whatever repository we are trying to scan. The git repository that I am going to clone is one that I was asked to clone for work purposes. And then after we do the git clone and then the address of the git repository, we're going to do the address of the project folder. And for me, the project folder is going to look like this. /home/serial, because it's my username in the WSL, and then projects, and then / whatever the name of your git repository is. So for me, it's this. And I'm getting this error because I already have cloned it, but if it fails for you, just add a sudo git clone and then the exact same command, just with sudo in front of it. This will override any write permission issues that you may be encountering. Now, once your repository is cloned, now we're ready to start a code scan. Semgrep does not install into the direct path of your Linux distribution. In order to reach it, you're going to go cd/home/serial or your username /dot or a period local/bin. This is the place that Semgrep was installed for me, and I could see that when I installed Semgrep, the line right above it, the execution showed me exactly where it was installed. So the way we run Semgrep, if you would like, is semgrep --config = auto, unless you want to use commands that you've built, but for this tutorial we're just going to be using the auto configuration, and then the location of your project. So mine is going to be /home/projects/CFLint. It's going to run and scan. If for some reason you run into this bug, what you can do instead is you can clone your project into your base directory, because for some reason permissions didn't work correctly between the two shared folders, and that's okay. That's not completely unexpected. So if you clone it into your local directory, all that's different is this is no longer in the projects folder. You can cd back into where Semgrep was, and that's cd/home/your username /.local /bin. Once you're here, you can run the semgrep command again. Config = auto /home/serial/CFLint. We download this to our base directory instead of to our projects folder, and this scan will run successfully. But then what we can do, instead of running that command and just viewing the output within the browser, is we can actually add an additional optional argument called output. --output. We're going to store it in /home/serial/projects/output.sarif. we're going to save it in a serif format. And we can do other formats such as JSON, but the way we're going to view this is using dots or -serif. So if we run this command, it'll run the scan, and then it'll put the output into our projects folder as a serif file. So if I go into my C, users, Cyro, projects, we're going to see the output results finish here as soon as this command is done. I'm going to stop this one since I already have it running. And we can view this using Notepad or Word or another text editor. However, this does not look very pretty. This right here is a serif file, and this is not something we necessarily want to view. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to Google VS Code, go to Visual Studio Code, download it for Windows. As soon as that installer pops up, we're going to run this and go through the installation process. I accept, next, install. We're not going to launch it, we're going to push finish. Instead, we're going to go back to our projects folder, right click, open with Visual Studio Code. And this, for you initially, it's going to be black and white. You have to choose a folder that you can trust to enable viewing it in this view. And then also you're going to have to, there's going to be a pop-up that shows up right here. And it's going to say, would you like to install a Serif reader? You're going to say yes, install the Microsoft Serif reader. And then when you do that, you're going to get this side window here. And this side window here is going to show you all of the findings within the Serif file, all of the results from your code scan. This one, if you read it, it shows the definition of what an attacker can use to exploit it. It actually shows you the name of the file and the line. If you were to click in here, normally this would bring you right to the file. But because we're using WSL through Windows, this does not work properly. So what we have to do is we kind of have to do a little bit of thinking. So we're going to look in the CFLint/source/main/java/com/cflint/config, and it's going to be config utils.java. So if we go back over here, because we did clone it into this other projects folder and the other folder, we're going to be able to go into CFLint, source, main, java, com, CFLint, config, look at config utils. It's going to open immediately in VS Code. And then we're going to go all the way down to line 196. And what this is saying is the class.4name potentially opens up an exploit. And if you want to know more about how all that works, let me know. Now, anytime you need, you can go over into your WSL. Anytime you want to run a code scan, all you have to do is clone the project, run Semgrep, export the results. You're going to open the output results within VS Code. You're going to look over here in the Serif viewer. It's going to tell you all of the findings, and then you're going to do a little bit of cross-looking just to find all of those errors.